on our way to Newton Abbot.
Due to the train coming in late, they decided to give the pass to a quicker moving service to leave the station before we did, which meant we were delayed for a bit longer at Exeter St David's, currently running about 24, that's 4 minutes late.
Hi, my name is Alex and this is Travel Titbits 52, and today I'm at Newton Abbot and starting at the station. So let's take a closer look. Well, a bit of luck today in that when I arrived for my to change trains at Exeter St David's, the semi-fast to Paynton was late, so I'm actually here before the train was about to arrive. So a little bit about Newton Abbot station. So there's been a station here since 1846, built by Isambard Kingdom Brunel, and it wasn't initially designed to be anything as big as this, because his first idea was an atmospheric railway, which was essentially special compressed air in the centre of the track. The other thing that was made his rails distinctly different was their width, and they were 7-foot gauge. So not the narrow gauge that we see today. So the atmospheric railway didn't really work as well as expected, and within a couple of years it was abandoned. Although in the in-between years, the railway was extended to Totnes and Torquay. In 1866 there was a further extension or a branch line to Mort Hampstead, and that happened in 1866. Following on, the gauges did change later in the 19th century, and in May 1892 the 7-foot gauge was changed on the entire Great Western Railway network over one weekend, no less, which is quite amazing really for the time. When there was an atmospheric railway, there were special pumping stations for the gas, and sadly they are not here anymore, but you can see an example at Starcosh station, which is between St David's and Dawlish, and there's also one at Torquay, which I haven't seen. Now, until 1877, Newton Abbot wasn't known as Newton Abbot, it was just Newton, and it was only when the Great Western took over in 1876, in the following year 1877, was it renamed Newton Abbot, because Newton Abbot, the history of that goes back a very long way, and in the 14th century it was known as the new town of the Abbots. During the Second World War, Newton Abbot was bombed, and we're standing on the southern platform that was bombed. One of the 6 bombs that fell didn't go off, and unfortunately 14 people lost their lives. The station itself, as I said, was rebuilt, and it began in 1927, and in part this is why I'm here today, because many years ago I bought a copy of a painting, and it was a painting of Newton Abbot in 1930, so only 3 years after, and let me tell you, it didn't look a lot like what we're looking at today. So when this train has left, we're going to pick out a few pointers and give you an idea, and then we'll walk around the station, and we're going to go and have a look at the station from where the painting was derived from. train now departing is going to Penzance. And the bridge in the distance is where we're going to walk to next. So platform 1 is where the local Paignton trains depart from. And over on this side where's a lot of rail yards, and where locomotives, mostly steam, were maintained. And these industrial units have had some decoration added. I don't know if you can see the building in the distance. That is an original building with arches and windows, and so the replacement industrial buildings have had them etched on their sides. Now when we stand on the bridge in the distance where that lorry is going over, we should see something else. A few shots around the station before we walk up to the next railway bridge. So I'm standing on the bridge, and this is roughly where the painter would have stood, and 93 years on, I'm quite sure that there would have been hardly any traffic that there is today. So let me try and point out, I will flick in a copy in and out of the painting so you can see the amazing amount of difference. Firstly, where the car park is to the left, there was a bay platform plus goods in and out. That was 3 lines or roads. On the right hand side it was all goods yards, and I imagine it was right from where this well-known shop is. And one thing they've retained is the last remaining retaining wall representing a place where birds live, and where the railway works began. And you think about why was there major works here? Not just because it was Newton Abbot, but because here it's on the level, it's on the Great Western Main Line. At the time of it being built up, and it goes back, or at least 1.5 miles, you can't see it. It was between the branch line to Torquay, Paignton and Kingswear, which is still operating, and also the other branch line up to Mort Hampstead. There was a further branch line, the name escapes me. Only part of the line survives up to a place called Heathfield, only because there was industrial works up there. So yeah, this view as represented by the painting is, it's quite substantially different. And steam engines and everything that came with it required a lot of maintenance, and this was a strategic place in South Devon. And what a hive of activity this place would have been in its heyday. Now let's head up to town. And just opposite the railway station there is a small park, which I walked through just before going up to town. Well, here is the famous clock tower. I'll take a closer picture of it in a moment. In the centre of Newton Abbot. A market town, and where William of Orange made his proclamation. So that was a trip around Newton Abbot railway station and part of the town. I noticed whilst up in town, past the Market Street, that there is a museum. There's also a river, and on the outskirts of the town there is a race course. So plenty to see in Newton Abbot. So the next time you see me, I'll be at the next stop, which is at Titbits.